John Charles Ziegler III.
He was born in 1922. He never graduated from high school. He quit to help his father out supporting the family. And when World War II started, well, then he joined the Navy and went to do his part in World War II.
About a month after I transferred, my ship engaged in one of the most famous fights in the war. The ship was all but sunk. There was nothing left of the ship above the deck. They were patrolling off of Okinawa, and there was 27 planes that attacked it, and they shot down over the floor.
He was a good guy. He was very principled. He was a hard worker. I never saw him miss work, ever. Except for one time he had some kind of surgery. I had to miss like a week or so.
He was very successful at his business. He grew the biggest agency in southern Wisconsin, and it kept him busy.
He'd take us fishing once in a while. He had a small 12-foot rowboat with a little 3.5-horse Johnson on the back of it that he got from his dad. And we'd go out to the power plant and get some perch. There's no yelling, no screaming. It was just calm fishing.
The two memories I probably have the most was when I was building the bunk beds and when I was building the cabinets in the office downstairs. And we spent an afternoon together doing woodworking together and making panel doors and raised panels and stuff like that. That was a really good afternoon.
He got stopped for safe driving, and given those coins, or all silver dollars, irritated Ma just terribly, because Ma figured she was the better driver, and he was a terrible driver as far as she was concerned. Oh, she was hot about that. She probably still is if you'd ask her.
We would see him and Grace at different gatherings, but always, seemed to be kind of a very warm spot in my heart for the guy.
My father adored his oldest brother, and he adored Aunt Grace. But the way my father showed his affection was to annoy people. I don't know that Aunt Grace really realized how much he adored her, but he truly did. And he used to come up a lot and visit, and she would tell me, "Oh, Donald's coming again, wasn't he just here?" And Uncle Johnny would tell her, "Don't let him bother you, he's just trying to aggravate you," which he was, but that was his way of showing affection.
I knew as soon as I met him that I was going to marry him. It was a mutual attraction, because Joan was going with his buddy, so we had a foursome for a while. It became a twosome very quickly. Married 62 years and engaged for, what, two and a half? Well, he was in the service, and we didn't get married until after he got out.
I think they had a great relationship. They were inseparable. They worked together. She was his secretary. So they worked together at work. They spent lots of time together at home. They used to go out every Friday night. They went out for steak sandwiches down at the Rafters. That was their favorite restaurant. They went on trips together, sometimes with the family, sometimes just the two of them, but they spent a lot of time together. They did a lot of dating. Thanks for teaching me what he taught me and being a good dad and providing the way he did, and providing for my mom the way he did. I always thought of that as a huge responsibility. Even up until a month before he passed away, it was, I have to stay here to take care of your mom. That's my responsibility. So he was always really strong on fulfilling commitments and his responsibility and stuff.
That's my favorite saying now. Don't get old. The reason for that is I'm 14 years beyond my family life expectancy.
They must have done something right, because all of us became pretty much successful in what we did.